Alright, so this is going to be another movie review. This one's called The Mask of the Red Death. I used to have this one on VHS tape. Probably first saw it about 10 years ago. Unfortunately, my ex-wife took it when we separated, so that was one of the spoils of our split. I don't know if she still has it, but anyway, this is an Edgar Allan Poe deal from AIP. I guess AIP did about 9 of these, including the much superior Pit and the Pendulum. I didn't like this movie that much when I was watching it about 10 years ago. I thought the dialogue was kind of gibberish, and the story didn't make sense. And I kind of feel the same way now. I don't know if the movie is true to the actual Edgar Allan Poe story, because I know they took liberties with some of his other books, so I don't know if they strayed from the story in this one, but this is not one of Vincent Price's better movies. I'm a big fan of Vincent Price, but this is not a great movie. There are a lot of satanic scenes in this. Kind of remind me of Black Cat, but I gave this one 3 stars, mostly for Vincent Price, and the color of the sets. They're quite vibrant colors in this one. So my feelings about this movie haven't changed over the last 10 years after watching it a second time tonight. Starts out with this dude in a red robe playing with tarot cards. He turns a white rose into a red rose with blood on it, and then he gives it to some old hag from the village, and he says, "I bring you deliverance." And she gets all excited, and she catches some kind of plague called the Red Death, I guess. Her face turns red, and she's screaming in pain. And meanwhile, Vincent Price shows up as Prince Prospero. He kind of shows up unannounced. He almost runs over a little kid with his carriage. So I'm not sure what time period this is. I'm guessing 1700s, but who knows? And I don't know exactly where this takes place. But basically, Vincent Price plays a satanic, tyrannical prince, and from that point, the story is quite convoluted. He picks on these 2 dudes because they call him out as a tyrant, I guess. And then some girl comes out of nowhere. Her name is Francesca. She asks for this Prospero dude, Vincent Price, to have mercy on them because he's threatening to punish them or torture them or whatever. So he sort of does what she says. I guess he's attracted to her and he wants to convert her over to Satanism. So he ends up having mercy on them by I guess asking Francesca to pick which one of them dies. One happens to be her father, and the other happens to be her lover. She doesn't want to do it. She's kind of dumbfounded by the trick that he's playing on her. And then Prospero hears the old hag screaming. He finds out that there's a Red Death in the village, and he tells his soldiers to burn the town. And he takes all three of them into his castle. The two guys end up in this dungeon, and the Francesca lady is sort of like a courtesan. Meanwhile, there's this other girl. I guess she's like his fiance or something, and she keeps doing these satanic rituals. I guess she wants to marry Satan and Vincent Price at the same time. So she ends up marrying Satan, and I don't know why they do this, but the Black Crow attacks her and kills her, and that's how she gets married to Satan. That's all very confusing, and didn't really understand that part. I didn't understand the tarot cards, how it comes into play either, except the rolling in the rolling credits. I guess the last card is death. That's the only part that had any relation to the movie. And I didn't really understand why the other dude in the ape suit got burned. What that whole plot was. That didn't make sense. And the whole death dance scene was kind of boring. I didn't really care for that. So the movie overall, I gave it 3 stars. Just like I said, for Vincent Price and for the colors in the movie, the vibrant colors. The ending didn't really make sense neither. I guess there are 6 people left that were spared from the Red Death, but it isn't clear if they end up dying too, because there's a quote from Edgar Allan Poe at the end stating that nobody was spared from the Red Death. So that part was kind of confusing to me too. So Roger Corman movies are kind of hit or miss. Some are good, some are kind of halfway good. This one's directed by Roger Corman. It's one of those Nicholson Arkoff deals from 1964. So that's about all I have to say about this movie. I didn't really like it or dislike it. I was sort of indifferent towards it. You really have to be awake though to follow the story, because it is quite confusing and the dialogue doesn't make sense. I don't know if it's the language of 1850 or 1842, whenever this was written, but I just didn't get it. I also didn't like the moral tone of the dude in the red robe. Sort of scolds Vincent Price at the end and tells him, "Why are you afraid of death? You never had a soul to begin with." That part didn't really make sense. So I guess that's the end of my review. I'm gonna say goodnight and au revoir, arrivederci, laters, adios amigos.